The Tomate situation is insane, which is probably what I'll call the title of this video. Now, I am no stranger to the Tomate and drama that he has been surrounded in. I think I've done like 3 videos on him at this point. 3 separate videos for 3 different instances of drama that he has been involved in. Usually what I do is go ahead and break down the situations, kind of give my take on it. But honestly, with this one, this is the worst drama that Tomate has been involved in yet. And this is the one where his career is basically on the line. Now, first off, I gotta say, if I open my TikTok and I scroll for like more than 2 seconds, guaranteed there will be some kind of TikTok ridiculing Tomate, whether that's calling out the things that he's done or just like showing some old TikTok that he made of him having a breakdown.
But now my life is ruined because now that I'm banned, the amount of money that I made from views, that was gonna pay my rent. Now that I'm banned.
But there are also some other TikTokers, like your favorite guy and Professor Pippi, that are definitely being the most vocal about the things that he's been accused of. So this all started out with the first guy I mentioned, your favorite guy, and he basically made an expose video. And then Tomate made a response to that by stitching it, which is like kind of replying on TikTok. Now, Tomate got loads and loads of hate, and he actually ended up disabling his comments and privating his Instagram, saying over and over that I've made a response video, it's on YouTube, you've just got to watch the response video on YouTube.
This man right here is the worst man on TikTok right now, and I'm gonna tell you guys
Yes, I'm turning my comments off. Yes, I'm making my Instagram private. No, I'm not going to be answering any DMs. I explain everything on my YouTube. And this sucks because I followed this guy. I love your content. I genuinely do. I have absolutely nothing against you whatsoever, and I know it's not your fault that you've been misinformed. It's not your fault. So just please, to everyone stalking my account right now, just watch my YouTube video. Please.
Now, I do want to say, if you're accused of something, the worst thing you can ever do is like disable comments or private any accounts, because I hate to admit it, no matter what the situation is, to the internet in general, it makes you look guilty. It is the equivalent of bringing a dog on the apology video and starting to stroke it or something. It isn't good. It looks like you're trying to run away. And I get it. Like having the top comment over and over be people, you know, accusing you or roasting you. It sucks. It really does. But you should never, ever turn off comments or disable them or anything like that, because it genuinely just implicits guilt. It is the worst thing you can ever do. Now, a lot of these accusations actually go back to previous videos that I talked about in the past. Like, for example, my original video, which kicked off all of this, is when he was actually kicked out of his house by his landlord, and he made a TikTok basically down on his luck saying, you know, I never ask for help. I do these kind of videos helping young men with mental health, but I'm screwed. I'm completely homeless. I have no money. I don't know what to do. And this apparently led him to get over $200,000 in donations from his followers. I even remember covering this at the time, saying that he got so many donations that he basically had to make a TikTok saying like, guys, stop donating. Like, I don't need any more money, which if anything seems really generous. But then a screenshot has came to light of Tomate actually saying that he wasn't homeless and that he was straight bawling. And then he's asking the girl to delete the message.
here's a screenshot of him texting a girl on Instagram saying he could buy her a bunch of expensive things with the money he scammed his fans from, saying that he was never actually homeless, as you could see here.
Now, Tomate did actually upload a response video, which kind of goes over everything he's been accused of. I've got a plugin that shows the dislikes. There are more dislikes than likes, and he's turned the comments off, which again, please never do that. It is genuinely the worst thing you can do whenever having to do any kind of response to something. So what he goes on to say to refute everything is the screenshots aren't real. They're faked.
I'm now going to go into detail as to why those screenshots are fake, and it's actually kind of obvious.
So apparently during his like homelessness saga, we're going to call it now, Tomate, with the cash that he got from fans, was hopping between different hotels. And at that time, he was talking to a girl. And then apparently Kate, his girlfriend, actually said, you know, stop talking to this girl. To which he did. And then apparently in return, that's why his DMs were like leaked or exposed. And then Tomate goes on to show like his proof afterwards.
So here is the main screenshot that ended up getting shared.
Baby, I'm straight ballin'. I'd buy you whatever you wanted, diamonds and pearls.
Wait, weren't you homeless? I'm not cut up on Tomate lore.
And no, by the way, we up.
Wait, hold on. You never were?
Nuh-uh. To be honest, wait, delete this.
And then this is the conversation she said that was from before it got deleted. She said that I said it and then deleted it seconds later, and that she screenshotted it right when I said it. And here is where I begin to prove why those screenshots aren't real. Say the conversation took place March 20th, 7 p.m., right? I can't remember when exactly, but just take that as an example. So if she had screenshotted what I said right before I deleted it, the screenshot would have had to have existed and had to have been taken at March 20th, 7 p.m. So after all of this, I asked them to show the dates of the screenshots because she didn't post any of this until several days later. And I was like, that didn't happen. I never said that. But if you can show me a screenshot that says it was taken at 7 p.m., March 20th, whatever the original date was, then I will take the blame for this. She refused to show the dates of the screenshots.
With the girl herself not showing proof, like for example, not showing any kind of time or date or any kind of time frame when the screenshots were sent. So obviously, like, he's saying that the screenshots are fake, but then like he doesn't offer any kind of way to really disprove that. So it's an awkward situation of like, you know, if you've got an axe to grind with Tomate, you're going to believe it. And if you're like a righteous defender that's going to like, you know, put your head on the guillotine for him, you're probably going to believe it's fake. Now, one lie that Tomate has apparently got caught in is he basically said when he was talking to this girl that the DMs lasted over like the course of a day and then he cut it off. But apparently what actually happened is these DMs went over the course of multiple days, and it was actually the girl that ended up blocking him, not him blocking her, which is what he originally said. Also, this is a little side note. I have no idea why Tomate is making a response video to like possibly career-ending accusations, and he's still wearing his like Tomate helmet for some reason. I don't know whether he's like trying to stay in character or something. Again, it's not very professional, but I've talked about that earlier, like him disabling comments and privating accounts. It really isn't a good look. He should have just gone like full mask off to at least let people understand how serious the situation is. I think this is why a lot of people, including Critical, have kind of like acknowledged this situation but not really made a video on it, because the waters here are incredibly murky. Like, keep in mind, me showing Tomate responding does not mean in any way that I'm siding with him or it's like, oh look guys, he totally debased these accusations. I just think it's fair that you're allowed to hear what he's been accused of and how he's going to refute that and then kind of make the opinion yourself. So another thing Tomate has been accused of, which actually went over in a previous video, but it seems to have resurfaced, is that he has been transphobic. So for anyone that isn't a Tomate scholar and they haven't kept up to date on the trilogy of films that I've made on the channel, he got accused of transphobia. He made a video that was like purposely misgendering a trans person just because he basically didn't like their music. And then he also made these bizarre TikToks where he was like bragging about how he's getting followers from being a transphobe. And Tomate does actually acknowledge this in his response video in possibly the worst way imaginable.
He's a transphobe. And this, I will humbly admit, there is some truth to. Okay. I don't mean it in that way. I don't mean I am a transphobe. I mean, this accusation was not foundationless. Was not out of thin air like the others were. This one started when a while back a transgender music artist whose name I can't remember, they posted a video on TikTok promoting their music, and like that's all it was. It was someone posting a video about their music and how it was all cool and stuff because she was trans. And then when I saw it, I was like scrolling through the comments and I was like, I'm really surprised no one's like saying anything in the comments. Just everyone was like being super supportive. And this, I admit to, it was more or less a hate comment. I disrespectfully commented, I wish we could see all of the comments he's deleting. That's it. That's literally all I said. That is literally it. I used their wrong pronouns. That is literally all that happened. I used their wrong pronouns. And yes, it was more or less on purpose because I didn't like the music. And again, I'm not trying to trash the artist, but in my opinion, the music was like dog shit. So then I insulted them. And for that, I am sorry. I am. That goes against everything I stand for as a positive vibes influencer. And I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong of me. That was hateful, and it was completely unprovoked. I shouldn't have done that. I genuinely should not have. And for that, I am eternally sorry. Just because I have a different music taste, that doesn't justify me disrespecting you. And I'm sorry. But like, oh my god, the backlash I got for that was comical. It was like, I got thousands of people duetting me.
I like how he's got all these accusations floating around him, but to that one, he's like, okay, so true. You got me there, bestie. Like, he starts laughing as well, and it's just really poor taste. It's not a good look. So he basically says that he intentionally used the wrong pronouns on someone just because, you know, he didn't like their music. But then he does apologize for it. But I do actually remember at the time, he did acknowledge the transphobia, like, earlier on, like in previous videos that I covered. But he did actually go on to say, you know, something bizarre like, God has made you perfect, and why would you want to jeopardize that by changing the way you were born? And if you couldn't tell from Tomate being a literal, like, crusader and stuff, he's very, like, heavily religiously influenced. So even back then, he was completely aware of what he did, but he was, like, kind of hoping to get around it. And for the next accusation, Jesus Christ, there is a laundry list. God damn. And finally, the final bit of drama that Tomate is involved in. Now, this one spans for quite a while. So originally, he got banned on TikTok. And apparently, he got banned because, you know, what Tomate does is, apart from these kind of male motivational videos, he'll dance around pretty provocatively while wearing the night helmet. And obviously, when you do stuff like that on a public social media app, you are going to have many people thirsting for you of various ages. And then one person actually commented on his TikTok saying, I want to see it grow, parentheses, I got hacked. To which he then made a response video called I'm waiting with like hashtag bark like you want it.
Yeah, I got banned because of this. And this video is directed to everyone that doesn't like the Tomate, that doesn't like me. If you think I am a pedophile, and if you've seen all these videos calling me all these names, saying all these things about me, the least you can do is hear my side. Please. All I ask is that you look at my YouTube channel, and I finally posted the video addressing everything. I completely address the scamming accusations about the $30,000. I address the transphobia accusations, and I address the groomer accusations. Please just hear me out. That's all I ask. You've already robbed me of my platform. You've already taken away the money I needed to pay rent. The least you can do is hear my side. Please. My link is in my bio. Yeah, I got banned because of this.
Nope, you were banned because you were marketing your adult content to your child fan base on TikTok. Like this video where you dance provocatively to a spicy song after one of your fans said they want to see it grow. And when you take 2 seconds to look at the girl who commented that, she is very clearly 15 years old. And when people who were concerned about this confronted you, you wouldn't even take down the video.
And then there was another example of him just like openly marketing that he does NSFW content like OnlyFans and stuff.
Like this video where you announced you are now making adult content, and this fan of yours is really excited, and look, you commented back to her. And again, 2 seconds to click the profile, she is 13 years old.
Someone replies with like, oh, like shock. He replies with a blind man walking stick emoji for some reason. And then if you go on the profile, she's 13 years old. Now, I'll be honest, situations like this are incredibly common on TikTok. I have seen loads of cosplayers and people that, you know, just dress up as characters from video games. Like, for example, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you'll have people dress up as ghosts and stuff. And then you'll literally have these cosplayers have to put in their bio, like, minors don't be weird, because unfortunately, when you do this kind of stuff, you do attract all ages. You could have people that are 30, 20, and then obviously younger than that. It really is a fucking minefield. But obviously, Tomate going from advocate for male mental health to now doing like sexually explicit content pretty openly, and then replying to people without like checking age and stuff. It isn't the best look.
Tall Knight directed all these people to his link tree, and you see that link at the top that says My Workout Routine? Yeah, that goes to his Patreon, where for $5 a month, you can get his workout routine, or for just $2.50 more, you can look at his lewd photos and videos without needing to verify your age at all. That's why you got banned.
And then on top of that as well, he has a Patreon where he advertises it for being his workout routine, which is what loads of people do, right? You want to get the same physique he does? Sure, I'll pay the money to get any kind of like workout to follow. But then also you gain access to literal nude photos of him that weren't mentioned anywhere in the link tree. Now, Tomate has responded to these accusations. I'm going to be honest, he has done it in the most bizarre way imaginable. I almost laughed when I first saw it. He's got this diagram, right, that it almost looks like a timeline of the Marvel Avengers films and when they take place. It is such a bizarre way to address an allegation like this.
So the next thing I want to address is the Tomate Miners, a Patreon which did not have age restriction. So here is that video now, articulately showing and proving that that is not the case.
This is the month of August. We are there. This is when everything went down. When I started my Patreon, which had higher pay, but I did not know had no age verification, that was around just before the beginning of the month. There's proof. It ran for almost exactly a week before it got reported and then taken down. And then there's proof of that. And my OnlyFans, which is age restricted but pays less, I started on the 9th. There's proof of that. Now this whole drama started when I made a video advertising my content in general, just NSFW content, to a minor accidentally. And the day that video was posted was the 10th. Here's proof of that. So days before, the Patreon had nothing accessible on it. The posts were there, but they couldn't be accessed. So at no point in time did I make a video sending a minor to a website that didn't require age restriction. When I made that video, the only thing available was my OnlyFans. That was the only thing that existed from that point on. Do you understand now?
Again, I have to admit, I do not think Tomate is built for dealing with drama, because every time he's been involved in drama, he tends to kind of just like have very poor, rushed reactions. I mean, he just wrote on the timeline the time that he interacted with the minor as a skull emoji. That just goes to show that there is like, the worst thing is he's taking it seriously, but it's like how his brain is processing like, okay, the audience are going to like that. They're going to like the skull emoji. That is going to communicate to the audience that I'm taking this very seriously. But yeah, it really does seem overall that Tomate has just been very sloppy with this. Like, for example, the Patreon just not being age gated at all. Like, you could have gone onto that Patreon and there was no requirement to enter age, even though Patreon does have that as a feature. Like, for example, artists that'll draw, you know, NSFW stuff, you'll have to say that you're over 18 to even get access to pay pledges. But on Tournate's Patreon, there was no age verification. So you could have just like waltzed on onto the Patreon, been any age whatsoever, and got nude photos. So another accusation that gets thrown at Tournate, which I'm seeing all over TikTok, is the fact that he was talking to a 16-year-old. He basically goes on to say in his response video that he assumed the girl was of age just because she had like tattoos and piercings, which, yeah, that's probably not the most intelligent thing to do.
Me and her were apart for about a month-ish, and during that space of time, while I was still single, I was scrolling on TikTok and saw a thirst trap of this girl doing something. It was some kind of trend, I can't remember what, so I went to her Instagram. But I feel the need to heavily emphasize, this girl has tattoos and piercings. I genuinely thought that she was an adult, even though she turned out to be 16, which I don't know how I missed that. They didn't add that in their bio until after, but I can't prove that, so I'm not gonna argue that.
He also goes on to claim that the entire conversation was like PG, whatever that means, but then actually doesn't go on to show like any kind of proof of that. I'll be honest as well, I find it really hard to like sympathize with him, because while he's going on about this and how stupid he is and how irresponsible he is, he's throwing up like meme images and stuff on the screen and like sound effects. It really just kind of detracts from how serious this video is meant to be.
I've avoided making a video like this for a long time because you got to see it from my perspective. Like, if someone started a rumor about you that you fucked your sister, you don't necessarily you aren't exactly the fastest to correct them and like immediately jump at the opportunity to defend yourself, because that actually looks bad.
He even at one point shows like a list of the character traits that he believes he has.
Here is what I am. This is who I am. This is not who I am. And these are things I have proven.
And then the character traits which the internet has accused him of, which he doesn't. Like, for example, he's got pervert, groomer. But then on the other side, it's like lazy, awkward. It's like, I don't think they carry any kind of similar weight whatsoever. It's like, that's not what you're being accused of. The internet and TikTok in general is not accusing you of being lazy and awkward. He then goes on to show like DM screenshots of all the support he's been getting from fans in private, which again is not a good look. I know, like, you know, for his situation, if he's getting people supporting him behind the scenes, like privately, that's great. I'm sure that really motivates him. But you don't then put it into the actual video to kind of use that people still care and people still watch. Like, take that little bit of joy you're getting and you should keep it very, very private, because again, it just kind of dilutes the actual response video itself. Now, towards the end of the video, Tomate seems to like open up and basically say that his mum was a predator being the nice word, and argued that because he was groomed, he couldn't actually be a groomer. Now, again, like him opening up about stuff like that to bring up as a counterpoint, I mean, he's allowed to do that, but at the same time, you've you've kind of laced this response video with like reaction images and memes and sound effects and stuff, and then to kind of have like such a, you know, sincere moment near the end, it really is taken away by having like, you know, funny side-eye dog appear halfway through the video. You need one specific tone for the entire video, and you need to stick with it. And then to bizarrely like kind of conclude everything, he posted one final update, which was uploaded a day ago, and he basically goes on to say that Charlie, Critical, has caught wind of the drama because while he was streaming, he was actually asked about it. And then he goes on to say like, if Charlie responds and he actually kind of like bodies Tomate, then he's actually gonna hang up everything and kind of just quit being Tomate forever. Now, I have no idea why Tomate would say something like that. I think that is one of the most stupidest things you could ever say. Your conviction shouldn't be based on what an e-celeb says about you. It should be about what your response video actually gave to the audience. He's almost talking about it like him coming out of this on top is basically like playing on a roulette wheel or something. Like, no, it's how much evidence and how much you were able to counter the accusations against you. Not just like, oh, if a big YouTuber talks about it, I hope they're nice or I'm going to quit the internet forever, Lamau. It just comes across as very unprofessional. But yeah, this is probably going to be one of the longer Pyroslop videos because there was just so much to uncover here. This was just layers and layers, you know, Shrek onion reference. I've probably missed out a lot of details as well, but like I said, the TikTokers I mentioned earlier, you can go check their stuff out to kind of get more informed. But yeah, crazy situation. I guess we'll have to see what Moist Critical says, apparently.